73% of people admit they don't truly know who they are. Carl Jung discovered why, and the answer will challenge everything you believe about yourself. What if the life you're living isn't actually yours? What if every decision, every belief, every desire has been shaped by forces you never questioned? Jung revealed that most people live as strangers to themselves. Here's how to break free. Think about this. How much of your identity is authentically you versus what others expect? Comment one word that describes who you think you really are beneath all the masks. Let's see if we're all hiding the same truths. From birth, we're conditioned. Given names, roles, rules. We learn what's acceptable, what gets rewarded. This creates what Jung called the persona, the mask we show the world. But here's the danger. We start believing we are the mask, forgetting something deeper exists underneath. Remember when you expressed yourself freely as a child? Then someone said, "Be realistic," or "Stop being so sensitive." Slowly you learned to hide parts of yourself. Those rejected pieces didn't disappear, they went underground into what Jung called the shadow. The shadow contains everything you've rejected: fears, desires, vulnerabilities, even hidden strengths. It doesn't vanish, it operates beneath the surface, influencing your thoughts and behaviors unconsciously. Every strong reaction you have to others? That's your shadow speaking. Ever intensely disliked someone without knowing why? Jung discovered that when we're disturbed by qualities in others, those exact qualities exist within our own shadow. We project our rejected parts onto other people. Recognition is the first step to reclaiming your wholeness. Here's Jung's radical insight. Psychological growth isn't about eliminating the shadow, it's about integrating it. The parts you've suppressed aren't enemies. They're missing pieces of your wholeness. When you face what you've denied, you unlock profound personal power and authenticity. Within you exists a vast inner world filled with forgotten memories, suppressed emotions, unacknowledged desires. Jung called the journey to uncover this the process of individuation, becoming your most authentic self. But most people never take this journey. They remain trapped in borrowed identities. How often do you avoid silence? How often do you fill every moment with work, social media, entertainment? This constant distraction isn't accidental, it's a defense mechanism. We're avoiding the deeper questions that linger beneath. But your unconscious mind is always speaking. Are you listening? Consider fear of rejection. Many suppress their truth to maintain harmony, terrified of judgment. But where does this fear originate? Usually from an old wound, a childhood moment when you felt unseen or unworthy. That unacknowledged wound controls your actions from behind the scenes until you bring it into light. Imagine living without fear of judgment. Speaking your truth without hesitation. Making decisions based on what resonates within you, not what others expect. This is individuation's power, not becoming someone new, but becoming more of who you truly are. The authentic you was always there. If Jung's philosophy is resonating with you, hit that like button now. Subscribe if you want deep psychology content that helps you understand yourself at the deepest level. What comes next about archetypes will completely shift how you see your own behavior patterns. Jung discovered that within every human exist universal patterns, psychological blueprints inherited from our ancestors. He called them archetypes. These ancient patterns influence your thoughts, emotions, behaviors in ways you don't fully understand. They're why the same stories appear across all cultures and throughout history. The hero archetype is the part of you longing for purpose, called to something greater. It seeks to overcome obstacles and evolve. But this archetype doesn't exist alone, it's always accompanied by the shadow. In myths, the hero must confront the shadow, the monster, the enemy, before truly evolving. Ever knew you needed to change but something inside resisted? Had opportunity to step into a greater version of yourself but fear held you back? That's the hero-shadow battle within you. Most people try suppressing the shadow. Jung said true transformation happens when you integrate it, not reject it. Struggle with self-doubt? Instead of ignoring it, ask, where does this come from? Is it truly mine or was it planted by past experiences? What lessons does it hold? Within your doubt might exist hidden strengths, humility, introspection, multi-perspective thinking. Your struggles aren't weaknesses. They're messages. Within every man exists a hidden feminine side, the anima. Within every woman exists a hidden masculine side, the animus. These aren't about physical gender, they're about energy balance. Anima represents intuition, emotion, creativity. Animus represents logic, structure, assertiveness. Wholeness requires embracing both. A man rejecting his anima may fear vulnerability, seeing emotion as weakness. A woman rejecting her animus may hesitate to assert herself or take control. But when these energies are embraced rather than suppressed, they become immense sources of strength. Balance creates wholeness. Here's Jung's deepest revelation. The self you identify with is only a fragment. Your true self, capital S, is the totality of who you are beyond labels and fears. It's not static, it's fluid, ever-changing, far greater than you've been led to believe. Your current identity is just one expression. The ego creates separation. It's the voice saying, "This is who I am and this is who I'm not." It builds walls and keeps you in familiar patterns. The ego isn't the enemy, it serves a purpose. But it's also the greatest obstacle to self-discovery because it keeps you tethered to a single limited identity. Jung discovered the collective unconscious level of the psyche shared by all humans. Inherited from ancestral experiences, you're not just an isolated being. You're connected to something far larger. You carry within you the wisdom of generations, depth beyond imagination, and potential for transformation beyond current comprehension. This means your intuitions, your dreams, your deep knowings aren't random. They're messages from something ancient within you. When you experience déjà vu, synchronicities, or inexplicable knowing, that's the collective unconscious speaking. You're tapping into wisdom that transcends your individual lifetime. Most people fear the unknown because it represents uncertainty, but the unknown is where growth happens. It's where transformation occurs. When you stop resisting the mysteries within you and lean into them with curiosity, you begin seeing yourself and the world with entirely new eyes. You are not just your name. Not just your job, your past, your personality, you're something beyond definition. When you release rigid identities, you create space for something greater to emerge. Every label you attach to yourself is a limitation. True freedom comes from releasing attachment to all of them. Your dreams are not random brain static. They're messages from your deeper self, revealing hidden truths about your psyche. Jung spent decades analyzing dreams and found consistent symbolic patterns. When you start paying attention to your dreams, you gain access to wisdom your conscious mind cannot reach. Jung discovered synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that can't be explained by causality. When you keep seeing the same number, when the right book falls off the shelf, when you think of someone and they call, these aren't random. They're the universe reflecting your inner state back to you. Art, writing, music, these aren't just hobbies. They're portals to the unconscious. Jung emphasized creative expression as a way of accessing and integrating hidden aspects of yourself. When you create without judgment, you allow suppressed parts to surface safely. Your creativity is a conversation with your shadow. Finding yourself isn't a destination you reach and then forget about. It's an ongoing journey and unfolding of deeper and deeper layers of truth. Each revelation leads to another. Each integration opens new doors. You never finish becoming yourself because the self is infinite and ever-expanding. True transformation requires surrender. Not giving up, but releasing the need to control outcomes. When you stop forcing life to match your expectations and instead flow with what emerges, you align with something greater than ego. This is where miracles happen, in the space between control and surrender. Right now you stand at a choice point. Will you continue living as a fragment of who you truly are, bound by old fears and borrowed identities? Or will you step into the unknown, embracing the vast, limitless being you were meant to become? This isn't just philosophy, it's an invitation to transformation. Breaking free means questioning everything. Every belief you've accepted without examination, every fear that stops you, every should that dictates your choices. When you courageously examine these unconscious programs, their power over you dissolves. You reclaim authority over your own life, your own truth, your own path. Authentic living means honoring all parts of yourself, the light and dark, the strong and vulnerable, the rational and intuitive. It means speaking your truth even when your voice shakes. It means making choices aligned with your deepest values, not others' expectations. This is what Jung meant by individuation becoming undivided. Here's the ultimate revelation. You were never truly lost. The self you've been seeking has been within you all along, waiting to be remembered. Every searching, every struggle, every moment of confusion was actually the self calling you home to yourself. You don't need to become someone new. You need to remember who you've always been. Jung spent his life proving that life doesn't truly begin until you find yourself. Not the surface-level self shaped by conditioning, but the vast authentic self that exists beneath all masks. Most people die without ever meeting themselves. But you now know the way. The question is, will you have the courage to walk it? The journey to yourself is the only journey worth taking. This video is for educational and philosophical exploration purposes only. It's not professional psychological or therapeutic advice. If you're struggling with mental health concerns, please consult a qualified mental health professional.